re banetse profile ya gago mo bekeng e fitileng gore ga re bojela ka re mo happy re bua ka mo le tsatsing la gompieno mme gompieno re tsana sentle mo skutleng sa rena se officially opened sa the Monday motivation. Now I want you to go to some sentle ka yone or re tletse sentle mo tsatsing la gompieno mme e re go le gape le tsone gore do bedise our listener.
Ke dumedisa ba baretsi botlhe mo Kurera FM. Ke nna Tshepo mo happy. At least I'm finally here now, so we can start our show.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Officially so. Me kuntle ga senyana go fela re mo happy re go ene lo tabege sentle ka yone ebile o tla itse gore gompieno mo skutlane selo sa rena sa the Monday motivation. What is it that you're having for us?
Today we are going to talk about who we are. Why are we even created? And for us, it's important to understand that there are a lot of other things that are created that exist. But a human being is far more different in nature compared to every other things that were created. And there is a specific reason behind that. And I believe that every human being should get to a space where they take themselves seriously, realizing that in the hierarchy of creation, you sit right at the top and you carry a serious responsibility for being in this earth. And you need to make your mark. Thank you.
Yeah, no. O gana go tlo gore ga re tlo go bua fela lo wena motho wetse go ntse mo le go tlo go bolla ka gone gona gore o santse o ikitse gore o mang gore ngo tlhodile. Why were you created on this earth? Why has God brought you to this earth? Take it off, sir.
Yes, sir. So greetings to all the listeners. I just want to start off by just saying, with every thing that has been created on earth, you've got the animal kingdom, you've got your plant kingdom, and within all these kingdoms, there are those animals that you would regard as the leaders in that group of animals. And it so happens that in as much as you would want to look at the animal kingdoms, a human being is actually sitting right at the top. Because if you look at how the human being has interacted with everything else in the world, the human being has been sort of a leader in everything. A human being can tame a wild animal into a pet. O gona go tsa nja e le wild a ba trainer e dule be pet in the house. I mean, if you look at other countries, they are even able to tame wild animals like lions and tigers, and they become pets and they behave as friendly as how humans would treat each other, as opposed to how they would behave if they were in the wild. And this is very important because it shows you how powerful a human being is and how superior they are in intellect and in thinking. That God has given us an ability to be able to live in this space that He has put us in, which we call the earth. And He has given us a very unique ability to make it happen for ourselves in that space. And that is important for us to realize, because what it means is that every human that has come, you have come into this life. We call it life. And this life is actually very important for us to understand it, because the question you need to ask yourself is, why am I even here to start with? Am I just here as a number, as statistics to say I am part of the population? Or am I here because I have something to bring to where I am now? Whether you are in Kuruman, whether you are in Katu, wherever you are, there is something that you carry, that you came with in this earth, that you are bringing, that is important for us to enjoy. And I'll give a simple example. You will find people that came to this earth that were able to define themselves maybe through music. And they made very good music for people. And people are enjoying their legacy even after they have left. Because they came and delivered what they came here to bring. Which is important for them to for us to understand that everyone has something. You have a role to play. You are not just a number that is brought to this earth, just an insignificant person. So this is important. So there are three things I want to talk about. Because normally we talk about life and we ask ourselves, what is life? If you say, watsela, a go tshela ke go ja, a go tshela ke go gola, go tshela ke eng, ke go robala, ke go ya mmerekong, ke eng botshelo sentle sentle. So ke be ke tsa definition in a dictionary, and I love this one because it refers to botshelo as a system. To say wena as an individual, you are a system. And you being a system, it means you are capable of performing duties. Now, the question we need to ask ourselves, Corey, if you as a person, you were created to be a system that performs duties, what duties are you here to perform? So what it then says is that I need to then ask myself a follow-up question to say, a purpose behind why I'm here. Which means when I came here with certain abilities,
Yes.
with certain talents, with certain gifts that I have. You know, I always use the example ya ngwana ga tlholega. Most of the time bana ba tlholega ba tswetse matsogo.
Yeah.
And you know, not necessarily that they're holding anything in their hand, but it's symbolic to the fact that you come bearing gifts.
Wow.
You come bearing talents and things that you are going to give to the earth. The earth must enjoy your existence.
Wow.
The people here must enjoy the fact that you are here, and we can enjoy the flavor that you are bringing into the earth.
Yes.
And you will look at a lot of people, I mean, people who are popular. Some are actors. We enjoy the flavor that they bring. Some are comedians. Some are serious actors. Some they are radio presenters, you name it. Some are teachers. People have different things that they are bringing. Some are police officers. They are doing different things. But the duty that they are performing is based on what has been put in them before they even came here. Which is why it's so important for us to understand that life is more about discovering who you are than it is about being busy with a lot of things.
Yo.
And hona le batho ba bantsi ba tshelang botshelo a sa ikitse gore yana ke o ikitse hela ka personality gore ke motho yana ke bosilo ke yana or ke yana ga itse sepe ka gore duty ya ka gore ke be ke le mo lehatseng ke eng sentle. And that creates a problem, because when you have to show your capability and what you are able to do, you become very confused. That is why you will find that sometimes people follow other people to say, I want to be like this person. It's okay to aspire to be like the other person, but you must also understand there is a unique flavor that you bring. You are a presenter.
Yes, sir.
You will not be like other presenters that we know. True. You bring in your own different flavor as a presenter. And that is important, to know who you are as a presenter. Yes, I'm a presenter, but I bring a different flavor. Now imagine how many pastors you have in the world. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
And the kaofela bona ba ipitsa ba root. Now, question e gore ke eng e ba etsang gore ba be different? It's because when they understand what their purpose is and they have discovered their own gift and their uniqueness, they are able to bring that to us in a different way.
Yes.
That is all how do kerekeng o retsa la go ka rera baruti ba 3. O tla utlwa re the way ba rerang ka teng, they are unique and they are different. They bring their different flavors. So life is more about discovering.
Okay.
Discovering who you really are. So there are three main important things about being a human being that we need to understand. The first one is that we need to be reproductive. Now, being reproductive, but obviously re sheba ka gore wa go nyala o nne le family bana and so on. But you must also understand that being reproductive also carries the element of being able to duplicate yourself in other people. To have so much influence that you are able to duplicate yourself in other people. Impact, and I'm not saying they must be like you, but what I mean is that you are able to encourage.
Wow.
You are able to give strength to another person. You are able to support another person. You are able to be in another person's life without you changing who they are, but you are able to impact their lives positively. And that is the part of being reproductive that is important, because if you have strength and I don't have strength, you have the ability to give me strength by how you talk, by how you treat me, by how you handle yourself around me. So that part of being reproductive is important. Some people are se bone mosola wa go ratsile because ga bone gore existence ya gage mo family ya gage, even though you are not, doing important things or things that they might think are important, but your existence, you will see in some families when a father in a family passes away, the family falls apart. Then you realize that man, even though Nebasa is serious, but that man role ya high was to be the glue of the family. Mara, imagine if that man understood that asantsanatsela. He would have had more influence in the family, because I understand the role you high. So you are more productive when you understand your role while you are still alive.
Wow.
Not after re bua ka wena go phitlhong gore o no gona go dira yana le yana le. But if you are able to know that while you are still alive, discover that while you are alive. The second one is to adapt. Adaptation.
Yes.
God has given you a very unique ability as a human being. And I always use oppression as an example.
Yes.
That you will find that there are certain groups of people that were oppressed even in the past. And oppression ke yona e dirileng gore ba bang ba bona ba gone go develop di system tsa go tshela even in the midst of that oppression. And that shows you how flexible a human being is. That a human being is able to go through trouble and still find a way to adjust so that they can still live and survive even in those circumstances. You can take a human being o montshe kurumano lo mme ya Gauteng. After nakonyana o tla ba tlwaetse se Gauteng. a gona go tshela Gauteng, a gona go dira dilo tsa Gauteng, o mo tse o mise Cape Town. I mean, I'm a typical example of that. I've been moving around quite a lot. And everywhere I've gone, I've stayed at least a minimum of 10 years. Now, adapting to where you are helps you because it shows you that as a human being, you are able to be flexible. So this for me says, that means even if you get feta mathata mo life nyaka, matata ao ga tla go tlo go mpolaya, a tlile go tlo develop a flexibility yaka when it comes to adapting, and I'm able to adapt. So let me use an example. There's a man called Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs.
Ke ena o dirileng the brand ya Apple. You know, in his last few days, he said something very powerful that stuck with me for a long time. Are, you know, when you want to connect dots, how connected the dots it's le mo pela gago.
Okay.
O connecta o gona go connecta di dots sentle ga di le ko morago because o gona go bona mo di startang o bo bona di mo di helelang. So which means your past, even though is that critical, but it's important for you to know whatever that you went through in the past is there to define the direction o tlamele o etse mo botshelo. Bothata ke gore most of the time ha re sheba past ya rona dilo tse botlhogo tse re hitileng mo go tsona pain e re filang matshelong a rona re bona in a negative way. Ga re batle go tsaya dilo tse ka re thusang out of the pain ere modimo purpose ya gage ka pain mo lifeng ya motho ke gore motho a ithute a gone go tsaya di learnings from that pain and do better moving forward. So we adapt by looking back and saying I am able to look back and I'm able to do better moving forward. So for me, life, if we say a person is living, for me it's a present future tense. It's a verb. It's a verb. So it's present and future, which means the decisions that I made in the past, I cannot change anymore. I must accept what has happened in the past. I must learn from it and build myself where I am. But but the decisions I make today, they have the ability to affect my future. And once I understand that, it means I am going to take those decisions realizing that they have a potential impact in where I am going.
The future.
So utla kra gore gantsi batho ba ba tšha bana le this phrase ba ibirikisang gore ke ja botšhabaka.
YOLO, you only live once.
You only live once. What they don't realize is that yes, you do live once, but the problem is that what you do now affects where you are going. And you cannot look back and regret, because when you look back, the only thing you can do is to connect the dots. You can't change anything about your past. You just can't. The only thing you can do is to say I have learned, and you draw a line and connect the dots. And as you move, you keep looking back, you connect the lines and move forward. And that's what life is for me. So today is far more critical for your future than your past. Even though your past is important for you to learn and say, I am going to look at my pain. I am going to look. But ba bantsi bana lo go sheba gore nna ga ke tswe mo family e strong. Ga ke tswe background ya ka ke tswa mo family e leng phua, ke tswa mo family. Look, I can give you several examples of people who are doing great things in the world today. Some of them didn't have a mother or a father. Some of them came from homeless shelters. Some of them were thrown in the dustbin and were picked up by a stranger. But they didn't use that as a reason to say, that is why they looked at all of that and said, if I could survive a dustbin, I can do better. You see, when you start looking at life like that, to say, if I can survive stress, if I can survive financial problems, and I'm still here for the past 10 years, survive. Every day, survive, and I'm still here. If that does not teach you to say you are a survivor and you have a unique skill to make things work, if you look at it that way, that means future. I am skilled to deal with trouble. I am skilled to be able to deal with any problem that life throws at me. But problem is that most of the time, re feel discouraged because rona matata rona mantsi. Motho tla ba go bolela gore nna botshelo ba ka ke a bitse budula botletse matata. And batho ba tletse matata life ya bona ke bona batho ba tlamele ba ba le more motivated than anyone. Because they should be the ones that are telling us how are they surviving. Instead of telling us how painful it is. They should be telling us how they are surviving. So it becomes important for us to know gore ha re tsa ditshwetso today di affecta mo re yang. Gore gore tshwetso enngwe le enngwe re etsang today, decision eo e affectang it will affect from now until we have learned the lesson that we need to learn. So you are a human being.
Yes.
Because God gave you the ability. Ya gore gone go inaganela.
Wow, powerful.
So, o tla bona sometimes go na le batho o re ha o sheba le wena. O na le batho ba reng gore a go gathaletse gore go na le matsapa yang. Motho o gona go tswa ka plan.
because o adaptile
o adaptile to a point ya gore o kgona go tswa ka plan. Now the last one I want to touch as I close is response to stimuli. So the first one is reproduction, the second one is adaptation, the last one is response to stimuli. Now what that means is that o tshela botshelo ha o island o interacta le batho ba bang ba go rata ba bang ga ba go rate ba bang ga ba batla go utlwa sepe mo go wena ba bang gore ba bang ba go appreciate ba go welcome. But you need to understand gore how you react to what people throw at you also determines how your life will be. Gona le batho ba bantsi today ga ba tshele matshelo a monate because ba dependile mo go reng batho ba reng mo go bona. If motho a bua selo se siame mo go wena o nna happy, if motho a bua so se sa siamang ga nne happy. So it becomes a problem that people then don't learn to say, I need to learn how to respond to what the world throws at me. I need to learn to know gore ke ipereka yang ga dilo di sa tsamae sentle. I need to learn gore ke ipereka yang ha batho ba ntshebile mo matlhong ba re dilo ga di bereke re dira yang ga go le yana. So life is about living. Life is about knowing that environment ya modimo a go beile mo go yona o gona go rotsele o survive o learn from dilo tso heta mo go tsona so that you can do better in the future. So learn how to deal with stimuli. So le batho ba ba tshake batla gore ke bue le bona today to say go gontsi go diragala, and some of them you will find that le di associations tsa bona ga di a siama because stimuli se ba se kreang ke sa peer pressure sa gore ga o le moshimane o dira yana ga o le mosetsana o dira yana, and pressure eo ke yona e dirang gore most of the time ba heletsa ba tsa diqeto tse seng right, ditshwetso tsa bona ga di a siama, and it becomes a problem because most of them don't realize that at the end of the day you can make a decision lily group mara ha e go affecta e tlo go affecta o le ya go affecta o le is, and o ka se berekise background ya gago gore nna ke a itse botshelo ba me ga ba siama gore ga ke sa kgathala gore go diragala eng ka botshelo o gona go change botshelo ba bantsi batho ba re ba itseng re ba boneng ba tshela matshelo a bona so right ba turn around matshelo a bona a nna upgraded, matshelo a bona a nna all right. So you should never give up in life. Never give up because you know who you are. You are better than lions, you are better than giraffes, plants, everything else modimo I created. You are better than it. Why? You are human being.
Wow. Ke bona gore ba sha o reditse ga jana motho o reditse ga jana, and o khotetse thata. What a way to start our Mondays. What a way to close our Monday afternoon. Rama happy re lebogile thata re khotetse re le basha le moretsi go khotetse go gae ra leboga thata.
Thank you, sir.